Good morning. What could be more delicious than a chocolate nut spread? All the kids are gonna say, Uncle Sasha is right. This is the most delicious kind of food. Simple Kitchen is starting a new culinary experiment. We're going to make our own chocolate nut spread, and it's gonna be even better than the stuff you can buy in stores. This is chocolate nut spread. You can easily buy any of these in stores, sold under different brands and different jars and with different flavors. I just bought 4 of them, and now we're gonna test them all out just like the real cooks do. After all, we have our Simple Kitchen lab here. Okay, we have to try them all out, rate them, and weigh up all the pros and cons. Let's go. I'm a big fan of chocolate spread. I really do love it. It's the best treat for me. I always have a jar at home. It's good. You know, it has a smooth, creamy texture, but it's still thick. It doesn't have any granules, with a strong note of sourness, a lot of vanilla. Damn, that's really good. And now my favorite chocolate spread. Not only mine, everyone loves it. I have no complaints. It's smooth, delicious, with a strong flavor of hazelnut. This one's cool. Next up. All right, this one is just a mess. Look at this. What kind of a spread even is this? Ah, it's made with chestnut. It's too greasy, it's too thin on top. Literally not a chocolate spread at all. No way. Ugh. Sometimes you can come across this stuff too. Okay, this one has some kinds of bits in it. You see, it's a mixed bag. I think this one's gonna be so-so too. Yeah, it's too sweet. It's excessively milky, and I don't feel any hazelnut at all. Basically, this spread tastes the best, but I'm sure you're all well aware of that. All right then, the task of today's experiment is to recreate the chocolate nut spread with our own hands at home. Starting the experiment, let's put these aside. Check it out. This is a set of the main ingredients. Block of butter, hazelnuts, nice and delicious. Powdered sugar, cocoa powder, and vegetable oil. Most people think chocolate spread contains a lot of chocolate. It actually doesn't, and I won't be using a chocolate bar. I'll just add the cocoa powder, and that's all I have to add for the chocolate flavor, because in fact, a true chocolate nut spread contains a lot of nuts and is made mostly of nut spread, which is key here. It has to have the chocolate flavor too, but nuts give it the basic texture and taste. First of all, to give the spread a rich and delicious flavor, we have to bake the hazelnuts. By using raw hazelnuts, they won't really give the same effect. But when the nuts are baked, they acquire a different flavor and become much more delicious. And you can use a frying pan for it, but an oven will bake all the nuts evenly. So spread the nuts on a tray and put them into the oven. Roast them at 180 degrees for 7 minutes tops. Don't over roast them. You have to be careful about that. Burnt nuts taste awful. Okay. 7 minutes have passed. Now look what's happening with the hazelnuts. Here, in addition to baking them, we also have the task of peeling off all this excess skin. Otherwise, it will ruin the smooth and delicate texture. So we take the hazelnuts. You see, they're baked evenly. You'll spot a burnt hazelnut right away. It'll be darker on the edges, and that's no good. Then it'll give your spread a bitter taste. You know, the taste of burnt nuts, and that's not cool. Take a hazelnut and peel the skin off. You can also crack it in 2. I'll just show you here. Check it out. It's nice and baked even inside. Take a better look here. That's it. Delicious. I mean, honestly, I really love hazelnuts. They're one of my favorite nuts. Cool. We have to wait for now. The hazelnuts are still hot and moist, but after they cool down, the skin will be much easier to peel off. They need 10 minutes at most. Now I'm going to show you a super quick and effective way to peel all the shells off. Spread the hazelnuts on a towel, preferably a clean one, guys. Well, you know, this is food after all. And wrap them up, connect the corners carefully, and now you just give them a good mix. You hear that sound? All the shells are peeling off and we'll be left with clean hazelnuts. I remember what I felt for the first time. I was making a semifreddo or something with an Italian chef. I'm standing there peeling the nuts one by one, and the chef says, "Sasha, what are you doing?" And then took all the nuts and put them in a towel. I was like, wait, is that even legal? Just like this. And now I'm sharing the trick with you. Open it up. Yeah, you see what's going on? These are the peeled hazelnuts, and all the shells are below. Let's give them another rub. If you don't get perfectly clean hazelnuts, it's okay. There's still some smaller shells hanging around. Don't worry about it. In the end, you won't notice, but still, most of the shells have to be removed. There, fantastic. The main feature of all chocolate spreads is their uniform consistency. Now this consistency, it's usually achieved in factories, food plants, where they have special machineries to ground the produce as finely as possible. But we're at home, so we don't have that tech. But we need a blender, just like this one. Preferably, it should be a jug with the blades at the bottom. I mean, I often show those blenders where you place the stick into the mix and then you blend it by hand. Those won't do because they're not powerful enough, but this one here will do the trick. Put the hazelnuts into the blender while they're still warm and blow the remaining shells off. Just imagine how awesome it'll be to have chocolate spread at home. Everyone loves that. Wake up in the morning, eat a fried egg, maybe something else, pour yourself a cup of coffee, of course, take some crunchy cookie, put chocolate spread on it, and you're good to go. I mean, it feels like you're always lacking that, a bit of sugar in your blood, and bam, you're up and about in high spirits. What's more, we don't know for sure what is put in these jars. Each to their own. What if there's some flavor enhancers, as it says on the label, and you're like, what on earth are these? But when you make the spread yourself with your own hands, that is a completely different deal because we're sure of the quality of each ingredient and we don't put in anything unnecessary. Okay, guys, these are the hazelnuts in the blender and these are the peeled shells. We don't need the shells, so just wrap them in a towel and give them to someone as a gift. All of these ingredients have to be blended. I'll say from the off, if you add the butter immediately, everything here will split apart. I mean, the fat will go one way and the milky mass will go the other. So we don't blend the butter together with the nuts. Instead, we blend the nuts with only vegetable oil. Pour in the vegetable oil. And don't be surprised, the regular chocolate spread bought in the store also contains vegetable oil. Close the lid and blend it all together. Whoa. We have to blend it thoroughly so that the texture is consistent and as smooth as possible so that, you gotta try to blend it to the point where all the nut pieces have disappeared. That's it. Now I'm gonna show you the best part. It doesn't look that special yet, Where's the chocolate? Where's the color? Well, hold on. We're almost there. Look at the consistency here. It's heated up, you see? It's even steaming. Take a look at this smooth nut spread. It's warm, hot even, without any chunks or grains. And we have to add sweetener and, of course, the natural cocoa powder. Pour it right into the blender, just like that. Yeah. Then, we add the powdered sugar. You can actually use regular sugar too, but I like powder more because it has a smoother taste and texture. It's ground already, so it's gonna do better for the spread. Now mix it all with a spoon carefully, just a smidge, and then give it another whiz in the blender, but less this time. Just a little touch is enough, and we'll be good to go. Oh, look what's happening here. The chocolate nut spread is almost done. Okay, look, we mixed it a little, and now we take a spatula like this. And just as I'm doing, we scrape all the mass down from the walls. Look, now that's more like it. I got a feeling it's gonna be delicious. Okay, and now blend it once again. Done. And a 1, 2, 3. The chocolate spread. Nice and delicious. Now, I'm sure you know that it's usually, well, take a look. It's usually thick like this. And this one is liquid. Now, I'll explain why. Chocolate spread always contains butter. When butter is cooled, it becomes denser. So the idea is to blend this block of butter with our freshly made chocolate spread and then put it in the fridge. After that, the spread will be thick, natural, and delicious. Now we pour our chocolate spread into a bowl. Add the block of butter just like this. And mix it carefully. All this butter is going to melt by itself because the chocolate spread is still warm. It was in the blender for a while, so it heated up there. Plus, we have the warm hazelnuts straight out of the oven. Just look at this thing of magic we've got here. You see? Check it out. Uniform, Beautiful, all the same. The main thing is to memorize all these small, crucial details. First, you blend the nuts with vegetable oil, and only after that do you add the cocoa and powdered sugar. Because after adding the cocoa and powdered sugar, your spread becomes thicker. It'll be much harder to blend it until it becomes as smooth as this stuff here. Okay, that's it. The butter is melted and mixed into the spread. Now we take this jar and pour our chocolate spread into it. You know, you can actually fill it to the brim. You'll never buy it like this in the store, but here at home, you can fill it right to the edge. Close the lid, nice and tight, and put it in the fridge. If you decide to cool it too much and put it in the freezer, I'd advise against that, because that way you run the risk of ice crystals forming in the spread, which will definitely ruin the smooth texture. Okay, time's up. Now let's take a look at what we've got here. I'm curious myself. Here's our little jar. Let's open it. Wow, that's gorgeous. Check it out. Here's our chocolate spread. It's turned out fantastic, with a uniform texture. I have some bread over here. Let's take a slice of it quickly, maybe even 2, maybe even 3, and then we'll try spreading it. You know, in commercials, they usually put the spread on in thin layers, and I spread it thick when I'm at home. I think I'll do it the way I do it at home, yeah? Spare nothing. There you go, a stretchy and awesome spread. This is just a real wonder. Some may think you can't make something like this, but it turns out that you can. Check it out. I'd say this is 100% success, and we are sure of every single percent of it. We're sure of every ingredient. We've used our own hazelnuts, butter, vegetable oil, and blended it ourselves. And that's why we're completely sure that there's nothing harmful or untasty there. I'd even say this spread is tastier. It is. You know, it's awesome. It has a lot of hazelnuts. It's tender, just melts in your mouth. For me, the thing that store-bought spreads have always been missing is chocolate, but this one really has a lot of it. Just a little cocoa bitterness, and you know for sure that this spread is natural and delicious. A taste explosion, enough said. Guys, do you like it?
We haven't tried it yet.
Well, let me spread some for you. You will be blown away. You're gonna go nuts, I'll tell you that. You've never eaten a spread like it. Natural, delicious, homemade. Here, enjoy. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. I'll take one too. Chocolate. All right, who else? Cyril, the last one is for you. Thank you. What about now, guys? Do you like it? Yeah, now we're talking. Thanks, chef. Well, I'll consider this simple kitchen experiment a success. And we made our own chocolate nut spread with our own hands right at home. Making your own chocolate nut spread will require hazelnuts, sugar powder, cocoa powder, butter, and vegetable oil. 100 grams of chocolate nut spread for sure won't break the bank.